Welcome back to week 5 of the VPL. Today we're looking at Karin versus Shirahiko. Karin's been on a roll lately, learning something new with every battle and steadily gaining experience. But the question now is, can she keep that streak alive? Meanwhile, Shirahiko's rocking her rain squad, so let's take a closer look at the teams. On Karin's side, the strategy is pretty clear. We have Klefki as always, sets the stage with Reflect Light Screen, Spikes and probably Thunderwave, giving Karin the breathing room she needs to bring her win conditions. Volcarona is the obvious centerpiece, one Quiver Dance and it becomes nearly unstoppable. King Gambit lurks as a terrifying late game cleaner once the rest of Karin's team is dead. Milotic is the main defense, handling special attackers and threatening burns with Scald. Dragapult brings speed control and Smeargle adds the unpredictability to an otherwise very readable, well-structured lineup. Having a readable team is not that bad if you played well, but across the field, Shirahiko enters with her rain-based, kind of balanced team. Politoed brings the weather and it enables Toxicroak to heal with Draskin. It also supports Zapdos as it can hit thunders and hurricanes with perfect accuracy. Clodsire is Shirahiko's defensive core and Sylveon is very good into Dragapult. Iron Leaves should have a hard time here since its typing is not that great against Karin's team. Being Pup Psychic, it's weak to the Dark type of King Gambit and the Ghost type of Dragapult, and being Grass type makes it 4 times weak to Volcarona's Bug Boss. So the question is, who prepared better? Karin has been mastering her screen offense week after week, but Shirahiko has every tool to disrupt that plan. If she reads the setup correctly, it really comes down to preparation, and whichever sides adapt faster will pretty much walk away with the win today. Let's jump right into the action and see whose preparation pays off. Karin leads with her signature Klefki and Shirahiko leads with Politoed, setting up the rain immediately. She goes... oh, she's prepared. She has Earthquake for the Klefki here. Without the Reflect, Earthquake does a lot. Klefki hits the Thunder Wave. Another Earthquake brings Klefki down to where she doesn't stay in. Okay, she switches into Clodsire here. Not really sure what her intention was, because she could have killed Klefki right there, since Klefki doesn't have an attacking move, and the worst it can do is set up Reflect maybe. Karin sets her first layer of spikes. Another Reflect. Shirahiko goes for Toxic Spikes. Okay, this is a battle of spikes here. We see Earthquake from Clodsire finally killing the Klefki, which was alive way too long. Karin switches her Milotic into one layer of Toxic Spikes, which it doesn't mind because of its ability. Ice Beam does not enough to bring Clodsire down to where Recover wouldn't out-heal the damage Milotic does. Scald in rain does way more. We see the burn. Another layer of Toxic Spikes. That's very good from Shirahiko. She can recover now. She switches out into Politoed. Politoed takes 16% damage, and since she doesn't have any removal, the 2 layers of spikes are here to stay, and that's 16% for every turn, for every switch in. She brings out the Zapdos, and she can do whatever now because Zapdos threatens Milotic. She uses Electric Terrain, okay. Ice Beam does 42%, which is a lot. Volt Switch does 39%, so this is a very defensive Zapdos. Politoed comes back in, setting up the rain. Not sure what the benefit of the rain is here, other than strengthening Milotic's Scald. And Karin just keeps recovering because she can. We see the full para on Politoed, which is very fortunate for Karin and very unfortunate for Shirahiko. Karin goes into Dragapult as Shirahiko goes into Zapdos. We see U-turn from Dragapult going into Smeargle. What's a Smeargle gonna do? Volt Switch does 70% to Smeargle here. She goes into Clodsire. The electric terrain ends and we see a population bomb from the Smeargle. Is that enough to kill? Oh my god, it is. Smeargle has Technician, so this one probably has Technician. It's able to kill, but the Smeargle is faster than Zapdos. Okay, that's a very slow and defensive Zapdos apparently. So Smeargle is... We even see crit Smeargle is able to get 9 hits of population bombs in. That's huge amounts of damage on Zapdos. Smeargle put in way too much work. Iron Leafs entering the battlefield without electric terrain. Yeah, we see Volcarona. There's nothing Shirahiko can do with Iron Leafs. That's a free setup for Karin. And it's very hard for Shirahiko to get rid of the Volcarona here. We see the special attack boost with Fiery Dance, the rain stops, and Earthquake doesn't do enough damage on Volcarona to stay and keep clicking it. Shirahiko switches into Politoed, catching the Giga Drain, which heals Volcarona back up. And this is not looking good for Shirahiko. Fiery Dance is enough to kill the Zapdos in rain, and the Zapdos is slower. Probably Sylveon can still do something here. The 4 times effective Bug Boss, which there was no way Iron Leafs living that. We see Toxicroak coming out, Sucker Punching doing 25%, so not nearly enough damage. Another Fiery Dance, giving another special attack boost, and out comes Sylveon. The spikes really doing work here, chipping every Pokemon for 16%. Bug Boss is resisted, does 41%. Draining Kiss is resisted as well, doesn't do much. Draining Kiss has Contact as a special attack move, and we see Flame Body triggering, burning the Sylveon, and this is another Bug Boss with the burn, and that should be a dead Sylveon. Luring Voice doesn't do enough, and with that, Karin won 4-0. What a statement win from Karin. From start to finish, this was a textbook example of how to execute a setup-oriented game plan. Right from turn 1, Klefki did exactly what it needed to, stacking both screens and hazards, setting the stage for sweepers behind it. The groundwork it laid completely shaped the rest of the battle, with Milotic spreading burns, forcing switches and draining valuable turns of rain. That layer of control meant Volcarona could come in safely, do a single quiver dance, and never look back. Once it started boosting, the match was effectively done. Rain or not, nothing on Shirahiko's side could stand up to a +2 Fiery Dance. Shirahiko's idea wasn't bad. The Politoed Zapdos Toxicroak Raincore had the potential to pressure Karin's bulky setup style, but she struggled to find real momentum. Clodsire gave Karin too much free space, and without a consistent special wall or revenge killer, the defensive backbone just couldn't hold. Once Volcarona got going, there was no switch-ins left, and we saw that. Still, this was a valuable learning experience. Shirahiko's team has good synergy on paper, but she'll need to find sturdier defensive options and clearer win condition for future weeks. Karin, meanwhile, continues to showcase just how dangerous preparation and discipline can be. With this win, Karin keeps her momentum rolling, while Shirahiko walks away with a replay full of lessons. How to balance offense and defense and how to deny setup before it's too late. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next battle.